Good morning, it's me, the lion, or Hermione Granger. It depends on which way you want to go. My sister-in-law put my hair in French plaits with me on Thursday night, took it out yesterday, it looked amazing. I brushed it this morning. Now it looks like this. I don't mind it, to be honest, it's kind of cool. Today we're doing today and tomorrow we're doing a 24 in 48 hour read-a-thon. I'm really excited. I'm doing this as part of Supernatural-thon. So today, the day of Saturday, is actually a touch of whimsy's 24-hour like spooky type read-a-thon. So I thought I would extend that and make it into a 48-hour one on the basis that I know a lot of people, because of kids or mental health problems or chronic pain problems, just because of a number of problems really, they can't stay up for 24 hours, and sometimes that can sort of push people away from 24-hour readathons. I love taking part in them despite the fact that I cannot stay up for 24 hours. I could do, but it would affect me for the rest of the week, so I choose not to. And then falling asleep, and you know, it just takes time away from the 24-hour readathon. So I thought I would extend it to a 48-hour readathon. There's never anything wrong with a 24-hour readathon, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I thought I would extend it and make it a weekend-long readathon and do 24 in 48, because I just feel that works better for me personally, and for some other people as well. So that's what we're going to do this weekend as part of Supernatural-thon. So first of all, I've got a parcel, so let's open this first. This has come this morning. I know what it is. I've ordered it myself and I'm really excited. I won't be reading this till November, but I'm hyped for it. I'm a little bit sad I won't be reading it till November. I kind of just want to pick it up now, but I'm going to be reading it as part of the Read-a-thon, so we're going to wait. Which way? Yeah, let's open it like this. So this is, can I get it out? It's Hollow Pogs by Jessica Townsend, which is the third and final book in the Nevermore series, the Morrigan Crow series. So this is the only one I have in hardback, which is a shame. I'd really love to get Nevermore and Wondersmith in hardback, but this is the Waterstones signed exclusive edition, and I'm really excited about it. Ooh, the end papers are beautiful. Oh, it says burn brightly, Jessica. I'm so hyped. This is beautiful, and I'm so excited about what's underneath the dust jacket, because I know that these books are beautiful naked. So this is why I want to, oh my god, this is why I want the whole set, because they're stunning. Look at it naked. It's beautiful. Holy shit. I don't know if I have a more beautiful naked book, I've got to be honest. I'm so excited. I can't wait to read this. I love the Morrigan Crow series. If you don't know what this is about, this is following a young girl called Morrigan Crow, who is 11 years old, about to turn 12, and everything that has ever gone wrong near her in life has been blamed on Morrigan. She's essentially deemed cursed, and she will die on her 12th birthday. A man called Jupiter North comes along and saves her just before her 12th birthday and takes her away from her family and takes her to the place of Nevermore, if I'm remembering this correctly, and she has to take part in some trials, and essentially it turns out she is not cursed. She may have magic. So yeah, I don't know where the full ins and outs of this are going. I actually kind of wish that I was rereading Nevermore and Wondersmith before picking this one up, because it would refresh my memory. I read Wondersmith last year. I think I read Nevermore and Wondersmith back to back, so it's been like a year since I picked this story up, but I really enjoy it. This is beautiful. And I cannot wait to continue on with this series. This is such a gorgeous edition. I really hope that I can get my hands on hardbacks of Nevermore and Wondersmith. I'll have to have a butcher's. But yeah, so this is what I got from Waterstones. So I'll be picking that up in November for the Read-a-thon. So let me tell you about what I want to read this weekend. So I am going to be picking up The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the third and final book in the Daevabad trilogy, which is a high fantasy series, and I love this series. Obviously this is the third and final one in the series, and I can't tell you too much about it, A, because I don't know, and B, because it's the third and final in the series. It would spoil everything that's come before it. So I'm hoping to get like maybe halfway through this over the weekend, possibly like page 410-ish. It would be nice to get halfway through this weekend, and then there's not as much to read next week. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Catherine, so I'm really excited to pick this up, and this is for the prompt of a sad book for Supernatural-a-thon, because it's the third and final in the series and I think it's going to break me. I gave The City of Brass 4 stars, I gave Kingdom of Copper 4.5, and I am highly anticipating this one's going to be 5. So I'd like to read some of that this weekend. I'd also like to read Wranglestone by Darren Charlton. This is a book following two boys, Peter and also Cooper, but mainly following Peter, and they live in a place called Wranglestone, and it's the islands of Lake Wranglestone, a safe haven in the world filled with restless dead. But as the lake freezes over, there's nothing to stop them from crossing the ice. And basically Peter is asked, he's never really felt at home in a place where practicality and grit are valued above all else. He's nothing like Cooper, the boy he's always watched from afar. But when he's ordered to join Cooper out on the mainland, they find more than just each other. They unearth a dark secret about Wranglestone's past, one that forces the pair to question everything they've ever known. This is queer, and I'm really excited about it. I am on the blog tour for this one, so my review will be going up next Friday, the 23rd, I think it is. Thank you to the publishers, Little Tiger Group, and also thank you to Pride Book Tours for putting me on the tour for this one. I'm really excited. I did start it last night. I only got 15 pages in, but it's going good so far. I think this is going to be really fast paced, and I'm really hoping that I can finish this today. So we will see if that is at all possible. Some of the girls have decided to set timers on their phones so that they actually read for 24 hours over the next 2 days. I don't know whether I'm going to put that pressure on myself or not. I don't think I will, on the basis that if I decide I want to watch a movie or want to watch some booktube, then I can do without feeling guilty. It's just a rough, it's nice to read for 24 hours specifically, but I don't think anyone that does a 24-hour readathon is actually reading for full 24 hours. So take my hat off to you if you are, you're amazing. But yeah, I just kind of want it to be chill and relaxed, and hopefully I'm going to be doing some reading sprints, and some of the other girls that I've set as mods on my Discord channel are going to be doing some reading sprints as well, so I'm really excited. Everyone seems hyped, so yeah. I know I don't look it, I've not long since woken up, so I'm pretty tired still, and I'm really missing my nephew. I've spent all week this week waking up to my nephew laughing in the next room, and this morning it was very quiet in the house. So yeah, it's going to take a little getting used to being alone again after spending a whole week with my family. So I'm excited though. I think what I'm going to do, actually, I was going to start off and try and get 100 pages into this. Do I still want to do that? Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. Make a head start on this and see how it goes. If I want to carry on with this, I will do. But what I really should do is try and make this a priority. No, I'm going to pick this up first. See how far I can get in this before I get, not bored, but you know, I want a change of pace. So I'm going to pick this up first, and I'm really excited about it. So this is a post-apocalyptic dystopian type book that's queer, and I'm here for it. So excited. Yay, let's do this. All right, hello. It's later on in the day. It's 4 o'clock, and let's just give you a bit of room. Give me a bit of room. It's 4 o'clock, and I have been reading Wranglestone. I'm currently on page 136. This is going well so far, I think. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to finish it today. I will probably maybe try and finish this tomorrow. I might try and pick it up again tomorrow. We'll see. It's going fine. So this is following Peter and Cooper. They live in a very small kind of town area called Wranglestone, where there's little islands that sort of are surrounded by a lake called Wranglestone, and essentially the lake manages to protect protect the people who live on these little islands from the dead throughout the year until winter comes along and the lake freezes, and then the dead manage to get the ways in. So these people have survived for several years, I don't know how long, for quite a few years now, since obviously this is post-apocalyptic, and they've been managing to survive. And Peter is just, he's not one of the people that kind of like goes out and tries to defeat the dead or anything, you know. Like in winter they've got groups of people that will go out and try and ferry the dead away from Wranglestone, try and protect Wranglestone, and Peter's not one of those people. Peter's the kind of person that can sew socks and can sew pillowcases and can do other things that are obviously useful and really handy traits to have. But some of the other people within town think that Peter's a bit of a lazy get and he's too soft. So when a man approaches Peter's home, like his island, in a canoe one day, pretending that he's selling something, and Peter gets himself in a bit of bother, Cooper's dad, Bud, basically causes a big fuss about the fact that maybe Peter and his dad Tom should leave and all of this lot. Either that or Peter needs to go out on the ice into the snow and defend Wranglestone. So Cooper basically goes out with Peter and they start doing the stuff. Cooper starts teaching him some stuff. Now their relationship is very insta-lovey. I don't know, there's not been much of a build-up, to be honest. It's like it's this, it's really weird. It's like there's been, even in the background, like pre this book, there's been no build up to it. So Peter's been watching Cooper for a very long time. He's been obsessed with Cooper for so long, and he had no idea that Cooper has been similarly obsessed with Peter. So all of a sudden this relationship just seems to have come out of nowhere, and now they're together, and there was almost no build up to it. It's almost like it was just there, but it wasn't. Like, the relationship wasn't there before we started the book. I know sometimes you might start a book and there's already a relationship. That's not the case, but there was no build up to the relationship. So we're thrown straight into this relationship. There's no build up to it. It's very insta-lovey. I don't get me wrong, I think Peter and Cooper definitely fancy each other, but maybe because I don't really care for either of the characters that much, I don't really care for the relationship. I'm not sure. It's really weird. I'm getting a really weird vibe from this book. Overall, I'm enjoying the plot of the story and where this is going. I'm intrigued to find out what it is that Peter and Cooper find out, and I really want to know what happens at the end. So on that basis, I am going to carry on with it. But overall, don't really care, which is such a shame because I've been hyped for this for a while now. As soon as I read the synopsis for this, I was like, yes, please, can I get on this blog tour? And now I'm a little bit bummed about it. So I don't know, maybe the second half of the book will be better, but I don't really want to carry on with it today. So on that basis, I'm going to be putting down this for the rest of the day now. So I won't be finishing it today, but hopefully tomorrow, because it would be nice to finish it and not go into next week with it, because it will take me forever otherwise. So I've come upstairs to the library to take some pictures for Instagram. So I ran out of my Instagram pictures yesterday, so I need to take some pictures, and while I'm doing that I'm going to listen to The Empire of Gold. That's my plan. So I'm going to take some Instagram photos now. If I can get the rest of the month done, that would be awesome, but I don't think that's going to be possible, but we'll see. And then yeah, I'll go back downstairs and continue on with Empire of Gold once I get downstairs. So I will keep you posted, let you know how I'm getting on, but I'll check back in with you later.
Tell me that it's my fault that it's over. Wish I played it different, I didn't know. All the times that you called me to be closer. Wish I paid attention, I should've known. You're probably with your friends, dancing on tabletops. Hands in his hair already, saying that you forgot about me. I just don't wanna know who you give your loving to. You'll end up leaving here with someone. I just don't wanna know you be drinking and it's not me you're loving. I just don't wanna know it's all I just don't wanna know it's all cold sheets when you're leaving. Used to sleep between them. Now I'm sleeping different. I let you go. I'm not used to feeling like I'm needed. Guess I must have missed it. I should have known. You're probably with your friends.
Okay, good evening. It is a little bit later on and it's 11:15. I'm about to start watching a film because that's what people do at 11:15. I'm just getting a little bit sleepy and I kind of fancy just snuggling down and watching a film for a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to finish reading for the day, which is great. Couple of updates. I did get to page 108 of Empire of Gold. So I'm currently on chapter 8 now. So I'm here. And yeah, loving this so far. So good to be back with these characters. I'd completely forgotten what had happened at the end of Kingdom of Copper because it's been a little while, but it's really nice to be back with these characters. I never remembered now what's happened, so that's really good. So I am looking forward to continuing on with this. Obviously I've not made too much of a chunk, but we'll see how much further I get through tomorrow. And then I did actually start reading a bit more of Wranglestone. My battery's dying, so I'm now on page 238 and this is now starting to pick its pace up. Around about page 185 there was a big twist and I was like, oh holy shit, and then the twist continued to twist and I was like, oh my god. So this is starting to pick up the pace a little bit now. The end of this book may save this book a little bit for me, which is great news. So yeah, looking forward to finishing this off tomorrow. Hopefully it won't take me too long to do so because it's starting to read really fast now. So I'm about to start watching Bloodshot with Vin Diesel and also Guy Pearce is in it and it sounds really good. So that's what I'm going to watch for the evening and then I will be back with you tomorrow. So I'll see you then.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay?
Hi team, I hope you're all well. It is late on Sunday. I have not done a great deal of reading today. I haven't done a great deal of anything other than sleeping, to be perfectly honest. Haven't been feeling too great. I've been a bit hazy with a bit of a headache and then just mood in general has been pretty shit. So it was to be expected after spending a week with my family. It's to be expected that I'm going to struggle with a couple of days with being on my own. So yeah, it is what it is. So I am settling in to do a little bit of reading now. I have been reading, just not a lot. So I'm now carrying it on with Wranglestone. I'm hoping to finish this. I'm on page 292. So I've got 79 pages left to go of this, around 80 pages left to go of this. So it shouldn't take me too long to read. This is like, can't really explain how I feel about this. I'm going to wait till the end and explain how I feel about it then, because I'm not too sure how I feel about it. And then I'm just looking for a couple of swaps because I'm starting to get stressed out, which I think is another reason why I haven't been reading much today. I'm starting to get stressed out with what I've got left to read for Supernatural-a-thon specifically, but also the reads that I have to read, because A, they're either a buddy read, or B, they're a book club read for a book club I'm hosting, like my book club. I've still got to read Little Women yet, and I've still got to read The Diviners for Supernatural-a-thon, and also books that I'm committed to reading for blog tours. So I've still got Kingdom of the Wicked left to read yet, and also finish this off, which is a blog tour book as well. So just starting to get a little bit stressed out, and also the fact that I'm halfway through loads of books as well. So I'm trying to reduce my TBR as much as I possibly can. One way that I can do that is swap out a couple of books for a couple of graphic novels and things. So one of them is a sci-fi. So one of the prompts was for a sci-fi, which was The French Mistake, I think. And that I was supposed to be reading A Phoenix First Must Burn. I would like to still get to it, but just in case I don't, I am going to pick up Skyward instead, which is a graphic novel where gravity is no longer a thing anymore, I believe. So I don't know, gravity on Earth suddenly becomes a fraction of what it is now. I'm assuming that this is a sci-fi, but obviously I will find out when I get into it, but I'm fairly certain that this is a sci-fi. So I'm going to read this. It's not a very long graphic novel at all, but I've heard really good things, so I'm excited to pick this one up. And then for, what am I swapping this? Oh yeah, for fan fiction, which is one of the prompts, fan fiction, to read a fanfic book. I was supposed to be reading Pucked by Helen Hunting. Still really want to read it, but it's only on audio, so it's when I'm going to get the time to pick it up. Similarly, I will try and get to it anyway, but if not, I am going to try and pick up the Mortal Instruments Volume 2 instead. This is the graphic novel version, so I know this is cheating a lot. I'm like really stretching this prompt here, but the Mortal Instruments series was actually originally based off of Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter fanfic originally. So yeah, very stretching this, but it's my read-a-thon. So yeah, this is what I'm going to go for instead for that one. So my plan now is to finish Wranglestone and then read these two, I think, before bed. I've napped this afternoon, so I don't need to go to bed too early, but I don't want to go to bed too late either, because I want to have a good start to my week tomorrow. So yeah, that's my plan, to read these three if at all possible. I'm going to go and carry on with Wranglestone, and I will let you know my thoughts on this when I've finished. I will actually probably try and just dive straight into Skyward after I finish Wranglestone, and then this, and then come back and wrap up this vlog, I think. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so good evening. It's a little bit later. We're going to wrap this up now, and I'm going to let you know what I read. So it's currently 10 to 11, and I managed to get read what I said I was gonna, which is awesome. So let's go through it and let you know. So this weekend I have managed to read 3 books, which is pretty cool. I'm not too mad about it. I didn't get as far through Empire of Gold as I wanted to, but I started it, so that's the main thing. I'll go through that in a second with you and let you know how that went on. But the first thing I finished was Wranglestone by Darren Charlton. I was reading this for a blog tour, so thank you to Little Tiger Group for sending me a copy of this, and also Pride Book Tours for getting me on the tour. This is a queer book basically following 2 boys, Peter and Cooper, who live in a town called Wranglestone, which basically is a collection of islands that's surrounded by a lake, and throughout the year, this is like a post-apocalyptic type story, and throughout the year the dead cannot get to the islands because of the lake, but obviously once winter comes and the ice freezes over, the dead can get to them. So this sort of follows Peter kind of growing up a lot. Peter's character growth is incredible to watch. He is quite, you know, the cinnamon roll type character. He's so sweet and he's so soft and quite naive to the world, and he likes to see the good in everybody. So his Cooper's dad, Bud, is just annoyed at Pete because he can cause a bit of chaos for the town when he's not careful, and he wants him to go out on the snow and in the ice and, you know, ferry the dead one day with Cooper and just see what it's like. Otherwise, him and his dad, Tom, need to leave the island. So Peter starts spending time with Cooper and helping him do what he does. Cooper is a wrangler, so he gets the dead all together and tries to lead them away from the islands and from the lake, because obviously they have to deal with sort of nature as well. There's wolves that come through and bears come through, so they're dealing with nature anyway, and then on top of that they've got the dead. But things are not as they seem, and Peter and Cooper end up finding this out very late on into the story. Actually, I think I was probably, I don't know where I was up, whereabouts it was. you're probably around the 200 page mark before you find this information out. And yeah, it just turns the whole story on its head, and it's very cleverly done. I really enjoyed it. I think this is going to be part of a series because it's down as #1 on Goodreads, so I'm assuming that this will be part of a series. It kind of left off in such a way that it could kind of semi been wrapped up but left kind of open, but also it could carry on. I do kind of hope it carries on because I would be interested in finding out more about this. When I started this off, I think around about 150 page mark, I was sort of saying that it's good, but I feel like the relationship is very insta-lovey, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. These two boys have lived together in the same area their whole lives. Peter's always had a crush on Cooper and just never spoke to him, and then all of a sudden, obviously it's the beginning of the story, so then all of a sudden they start talking to each other. And sometimes it always bothers me when people have been living together in the same area and then the story starts and then all of a sudden they start talking to each other. Like, I know the whole point of the story is their, well, it's not the whole point of the story, but part of the point of the story is their relationship and that growing, but it just blows my mind how they've lived together. It's not like Peter's just moved in and then they've met. Like, they've known each other the whole lives. They're 16 years old, they've known each other the whole lives, and they're only just talking now for the first time. So yeah, that kind of bothered me a little bit, and the relationship kind of moved pretty fast as well. But I suppose in a world like this, you kind of see life as you could die in a split second, so take the chances when you've got them, I suppose. But I did like what this did, and I liked where the story went. I think it could have been a bit more atmospheric, I think it could have been a bit darker, but I did like where it went, and I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed Darren's writing style. So yeah, I would like to read the next one in the series if there is going to be a next one. But yeah, this only just came out, so it's obviously going to be a while before we find out if there is going to be a next one, but I assume there is. I've just put it through CorePal now, and I ended up giving this a 4-star. It's like a low 4-star, but it's a 4-star nonetheless. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So my review for that will be going up Friday 23rd, I think it is. Then I read Skyward Volume 1, which is the first in this series. It is sci-fi-ish. I don't know fully if it is classified as sci-fi, but I see it as sci-fi, so we're going to go with it. So this basically follows this young girl called Willa, and we start off following Willa's parents 20 years in the past, where Willa's dad is putting Willa down to bed and Willa's mum's about to go out for a run, and then all of a sudden the gravity sort of fails, if you like. They end up in a what do they call it? New low gravity, they call it. Low gravity. So they called that day G-Day, and Willa's dad knew it was going to happen, Nate. He knew it was going to happen, and he was trying to prevent it from happening. And then we jump forward 20 years to Willa, obviously being 20 years old or 21 years old, whatever she is, and she's fascinated by the world. She wants to go and see the world. There are still people within this world that wear mag boots all the time and just live on the ground, but the majority of the people obviously live in the sky. But you can't jump too far or whatever because you will get lost in space. He has a solution to the whole thing, but then shit goes down, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. Not a fan of the graphic style specifically. I think it's a little bit, the lines aren't necessarily clean. I think it's a little bit boxy. But honestly, actually, it's probably quite similar. Just not as clean, but it's probably quite similar to Saga. Just don't think it's as clean. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I would like to carry on with the series. I did give this 4 stars. I think it's a good opening to the series, and I think it's put some good groundwork in and some good world building as well. So I enjoyed this, 4 stars. And then finally I read The Mortal Instruments Volume 2. This is the graphic novel version by Cassandra Clare and Cassandra Jean, and I love The Mortal Instruments. I think I gave most of them 5 stars, a couple of them were maybe 4. But this obviously carries on from Volume 1. Carry on with the story. I don't want to tell you too much about what happens in this one because it will spoil what happens in the first. But if you've read the Mortal Instruments stories, books. This is just the graphic novel version. It's very condensed down and it's the graphic novel version. I have mentioned previously with the first volume that I'm not a big fan of the art style of this. I know Cassie and Cassie have worked very close together to do this, so I know that this is the image that Cassie Clare has in her head of what the characters look like, so I totally respect that. But for me, I came into the Shadowhunter world via the Shadowhunters TV series. So for me, the characters look a certain way, and the movie and this graphic novel, although they tie in very well together, are not how I imagine them. So for me, it's a personal preference. It's just my opinion. That's all it is. It's not no shade at all to Cassandra Jean. She's obviously done a very good job, and Cassandra Clare's really happy with it, which is great. But just my personal preference, I am not a fan of the graphic style and the characters and stuff. It's just a personal preference thing. That's fine. I gave this 3 stars overall, which I think is what I gave the first one. It's a high 3 stars, but yeah, so I gave it 3 stars. I think this will probably come out at 3.5 stars on that basis. So yeah, 3.5 stars for this one, which means that I've managed to complete, I can't remember what I've put, if I've put Wranglestone down for anything now that I've sort of shifted my TBR around a little bit. Oh yeah, so Wranglestone now fits the prompt for All Hell Breaks Loose, which is a book with supernatural being in it. I don't know if you would classify zombies as supernatural beings, but there ends up being ghost type people in here as well. So I don't know, we're gonna say it counts. Skyward is for the sci-fi prompt, so that's for the French Mistake, prompt number 6. And then Mortal Instruments is for the fanfic prompt, which is prompt number 10. So yeah, really happy about that. That kind of knocks a couple more prompts off for me, which is great. And I finished 3 books this weekend. I don't know what I told, not 5, 3 books this weekend, which is awesome. And then I also managed to get 108 pages into The Empire of Gold, which is awesome as well. So I really wanted to try and get halfway through this weekend, but it's just not worked out right. I was still hoping to kind of get to part 2 this weekend, like, well, today, but well, yesterday in theory, but I didn't. And then my backup was like to get to part 2 by the end of the weekend, but I haven't done that either. I may go up and listen to a bit more of this in bed now before I go to sleep, but we'll see. Either way, I'm wrapping this up now. So I got 100 pages into Empire of Gold, and I didn't get any further with anything else, which is fine. So yeah, really happy. Since I got back from a holiday on Friday, I managed to finish 4 books because I read a whole book on Friday when I got back, which is great as well. So yeah, overall I'm happy. I've just had a grumpy day today. It's just generally my mood. I think I knew this was going to happen with me getting back from holiday and now being away from my family again. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll pick back up again and I should be okay. But yeah, I feel a bit better about the fact that I've swapped a couple of my books out for some smaller ones and for some graphic novels. If I could fit some more graphic novels in elsewhere, I really would, because I just feel like I need to pick up the pace a little bit. I have a lot of books that I just cannot swap out, so I've already mentioned this, there's no point in me repeating myself. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. I know it's been a little bit boring because I've not really gone anywhere, but what can you do? So yeah, please leave me actually a snowflake in the comments if you got to the end of this video. It's very pertinent to Wranglestone, so leave me a snowflake if you got to the end of this video. If you don't want to leave me any other comment, just to let me know who gets to the end, because I like to see. And I shall see you next time. Bye for now.